Me encanta la comida mexicana, especialmente el chile. Ay, Susan, mejor di que te gusta la comida picante o picosa. Por eso, el chile. Amo el chile. Todos los chiles. Siempre quiero más chile. Maura has already shown you 5 mistakes that people make when speaking Spanish that are sexual in nature. In this video, we will continue with this hilarious topic, and now we're going to explore the Mexican art of double entendre. Soy Paulísima de Spring Spanish. Comencemos. Número 1. ¿Qué es el albur mexicano? Albur es un juego de palabras. Sexual slang and double entendre are the characteristics of this Mexican verbal game called albur. The verb is alburear. Albur es una de las cosas que son increíblemente difíciles de dominar para una persona que habla español como segunda lengua. Actually, it's incredibly hard for us native speakers that are just not good with it. But don't feel bad, because with the knowledge that you will acquire in this lesson, you will absolutely up your albur game. This way of speaking is quite informal and even vulgar, so you can only use it amongst people that you're close with, but you have to know that that strangers in Mexico will actually try to alburearte, to throw an albur at you. It's just because it's a way to socialize and to have fun. Let's start out with an example from the Mexican queen of albur, que en paz descanse. And she used to use this phrase that is seemingly innocent and actually related to the things that she used to sell. And she will still manage to alburear her potential client. Let's see if you get it.
¿Qué talla, joven? ¿Qué talla?
¿Qué talla, joven? ¿Qué talla? This chunk that is actually quite innocent is used to ask people what size they wear. Yeah, what size they are. Chunks are phrases or word combinations that native speakers use all the time. You can get a free copy with a bunch of super useful and helpful Spanish chunks in the link in the description. So, ¿qué talla, joven? ¿Qué talla? Let me know in the comments if you understand this. I mean, if you understand the double meaning of it. Do stay until the end, because I will explain what the double entendre is in this phrase. And to make it even better, I'm going to ask a Spanish speaker, a native Spanish speaker who doesn't speak Mexican Spanish. You might know her. I'll ask her if she can figure it out, if she can detect what the albur is in the phrase. Susan, vamos a visitar a mis primos en Guerrero. Por favor, no menciones nada sobre tu amor al chile delante de ellos, porque te van a alburear. ¿En serio? ¿Son muy albureros? Sí, mis primos de Guerrero son muy albureros, pero a mí no me alburean porque saben que a mí no me gusta alburear. Ok, entonces no hablaré del chile. ¿De qué otras palabras me tengo que cuidar? Buena pregunta, Susan. Buena pregunta. People who are great at albur have this power to sexualize every word in the Spanish lexicon. Everything can be an albur when you're good at it. Now we're going to see what words are commonly used to construct albures in Mexico. Número 2. Cuidado con estas 5 palabras. Many cultures use euphemisms to talk about the human genitalia. Well, México y otros países de Latinoamérica no son la excepción. A variety of phallic shapes are used to talk about the male, well, sexual organ. And you have to take into consideration that slang, especially sexual slang, varies from Spanish-speaking country to Spanish-speaking country. But if you're in Mexico, you gotta be especially careful with the following. Susan, ¿quieres chorizo? ¿Qué? Que si necesitas chorizo. ¿Me estás albureando? No, en serio. ¿Quieres chorizo? Es que me acaban de traer chorizo de Toluca. Está riquísimo. ¿Quieres? I meant it before when I said I'm not good at all at Albur, so this video has been quite a challenge for me. So please show me some love and subscribe to the channel. Notice the chunk "me estás albureando" is a phrase that you can use when you kind of detect that someone is trying to throw an albur at you, when someone is trying to alburearte. Me contaron que estuvo muy divertida la reunión de creadores de contenido. Sí, lo mejor fue después de la cena. La que tuvo mejor suerte con el palo fue Paulísima. ¿Cómo? ¡Uy! La hubieras visto, cómo agarraba el palo. Se ve que como mexicana tiene mucha experiencia con el palo. A ver, Susan, ¿de qué estás hablando? Es que después de la cena rompimos una piñata y Paulísima le dio súper duro con el palo. Ah, claro, eso sí tiene sentido. Susan, palo es una de esas palabras que pueden hacer que te albureen. Te voy a enseñar una frase que puedes decir para neutralizar cualquier intento de albur. Do you want to hear that phrase? Well, I'll tell you in a second, but first, let's see what's the other meaning of palo. Amiga, me urge un palo. Ay, amiga, pues estás de suerte. Fíjate que mi amigo Freddy, que por cierto está súper bueno, me preguntó por ti. Quiere invitarte a salir. ¿Qué? ¿Qué tiene que ver tu amigo con el palo que necesito? A ver, ¿de qué tipo de palo estamos hablando? Un palo para romper una piñata. Mañana es la fiesta de mi sobrinita y yo me ofrecí a llevar una piñata con todo y palo. So, the word palo, which normally just means stick, in Albur or in double entendre means both penis and sexual intercourse. In Mexico, the most common euphemism for the male sexual organ is chile, and it sucks. No pun intended. Because this is Mexico, so we're going to use the word chile like plenty of times. El chile, amo el chile, todos los chiles, siempre quiero más chile. La frase que les dije que les iba a enseñar es sin albur. If for whatever reason you have to use the words that you'll find in this lesson, you can use the chunk sin albur to neutralize the attempts of other people to throw an albur at you because, you said that word like saying chile. And because you're saying sin albur is going to make you sound very natural, very in the know about albur, and I don't know, it just gives it like a funny little addition to your speech. To sound even more natural, you gotta repeat the phrase, sin albur, sin albur. Me encanta la comida mexicana, especialmente el chile. Sin albur, sin albur. Ay, claro. Sé que te encanta la comida picante, Susan. There are so many words. I will say almost every word in Spanish is susceptible to have a double meaning. And the worst part is that our sexual slang varies, it changes from region to region. And to make matters worse, in Mexico, the sexual slang changes from state to state, so this can lead to very embarrassing situations. So, my parents, for example, they come from the state of Guerrero. There, we have this natural sweetener, and we call it panocha. Then they moved to Quintana Roo, to Cancun, and oh, big surprise because there, well, let's just say that we had a few embarrassing situations. Gracias por invitarnos, vecina. Mire, le trajimos unas empanochadas que me acaban de traer de mi pueblo. ¿Unas qué, perdón? Unos panes rellenos de panocha. Es una panocha de muy buena calidad, una panocha deliciosa. Ay, vecina, ¿cómo le explico? ¿Qué cosa? Pues es que por acá la panocha es pues lo de la mujer. Número 3. ¿Cómo se dice en Venezuela? So, panocha and so many other innocent words are used to talk about, human genitalia. I wonder what words do they use in other countries. Lo bueno es que tengo a mi maravillosa colega Maura para sacarme de la duda.
Paulísima querida, algo muy venezolano es que cuando se trata del cuerpo femenino, for some reason, steer clear from the word cuchara. I honestly don't know why this happens, but it does. In Venezuela, there's almost as many ways to say vagina as there are families. They're basically made-up words. Yo, sinceramente, call both genitalia by its name, the one you'd find in the dictionary.
Me too, Maura, me too. Now, can you tell me a little bit about albur in Venezuela?
En Venezuela, double meanings are a big part of the sense of humor. De hecho, tenemos una palabra para ello. Chinazo. A chinazo is when something you say can be constructed as sexual. Yeah, the problem is, depending on who you're with, everything can be a chinazo.
Maura, ¿puedes ver este video y decirme por qué es un albur o cuál es el albur?
¿Qué talla, joven? ¿Qué talla?
That does not mean a thing to me. It only means which size. Nunca había escuchado esto antes. Since I'm dying to go to Mexico, I'm glad I did thanks to you.
It's okay, Maura. Actually, I didn't get it either. I had to ask my friends, my male friends, and they were like, oh, dude, it's so obvious. Why don't you get it? Turns out the albur in this phrase comes from the fact that, yeah, she's asking ¿qué talla?, which literally means what size. But the thing is that the word talla, it also means rub. So when she's asking ¿qué talla?, in a way she's also asking what do you rub? It's just like a Venezuelan chinazo. Como dijo Maura, todo puede ser un chinazo. Muchas gracias, Maura. Número 4. Albures en forma de pregunta. In Mexico, these two questions are common albures, so be careful. Oye, Susan, ¿tu papá ya es grande? Sí, mi papá ya... No. No soy mensa, ya me sé ese albur. No te voy a decir nada sobre la papaya, pero sí, mi padre ya es un hombre mayor. So, that question, tu papá ya es grande, really means, is your dad old already or already old? But for the sound of it, it sounds like if you're asking someone if their papaya is big. And now papaya it's a fruit and it's delicious. I like it. But it's also code word for the female genitalia. I didn't make it up. Now, if you're in Mexico and a friend of yours says, huele a ovo for the love of everything that you love, please don't ask this question. ¿Qué es ovo? Don't do it. First of all, ovo doesn't mean anything. I mean, ovo with a B, but that's not the point. The point is that this expression saying, huele a ovo, is really just a setup for you to ask the question, ¿qué es ovo? Because you're like, what is ovo? You know? But when you say ¿qué es ovo? Sounds like if you're saying, what do I rub? Or what do I massage? And then if you say it, well, they're going to answer with an albur as well. So you don't want to never ask ¿qué es ovo? Don't. This topic is hilarious. I love it. It's super extensive. But maybe you want to check out why you should never say excitado, at least not in public. Continue with Maura in her lovely lesson, and I'll see you later.